Have you considered becoming a real estate agent in 2020? I mean, selling luxury condos on the beach, multi-million dollar mansions, making your own schedule, having no boss, making tons of money. I mean, how difficult could it be, right? Well, my name is Hans Weisfeld. I'm a local real estate agent in Miami with Keller Williams. And in this video, I'm gonna be going over 5 of the hardest things for being a real estate agent in 2020. You see, in reality, being a real estate agent is anything but simple. We face many challenges and wear many hats. I'm gonna be going over 5 of the most common challenges that I face as a real estate agent. Number 1, no closing, no commission. Pretty much, we don't get paid on a weekly or bi-weekly basis as with most people do with a regular job. We only get paid up on commission, only when we have a closing. When I first started doing real estate, I remember a fellow colleague told me one day, as soon as I started, you only eat what you kill in real estate. And that is very true. You only make what you can actually close. And closing is not very simple at all. There's many challenges and there's a lot of up and downs with just closing one transaction, right? Just to put it out there, you can have the buyer's family involved, you can have the seller's family involved, you have a title company, you have closing agents, you have the lenders, you have the underwriters, you have the inspector, you have the appraisal. There's all these hoops that you need to pass through in order to make it to the next step and to be able to close, right? So from beginning to end, usually average, it could take anywhere from 30 to 45 days. So yes, from the beginning to end, you have 30 to 45 days of uncertainty. You don't know what could happen, what's next, right? Many things could happen. Each year is different, but not every single transaction that's been put for pending sale, right, that gets an offer actually closes, right? Some years the stats showed that 20% of transactions, some years with 30% of all transactions didn't close, right? Pending sales did not go through, meaning a buyer puts an offer and something happens in between and those transactions don't close. So you could be working for a month or even longer, working hard for many months maybe, right, with the buyer. Let's say you're a buyer's agent, and after months, the deal falls through. It falls through. So there's a lot of challenges with just closing one deal, right? So you need to stay on top of it. You need to be on top of all these people that I just mentioned. Just make sure that everyone's on the same page. Everyone has the same goals, right? So as the closing, and just expect the worst and hope for the best. So you have to be prepared at all times. That is just one of our challenges. Number 2 is wearing multiple hats. So when I signed up to being a real estate agent, I never knew I signed up to being other things as well. For example, you have to become a marketing specialist. You have to become a telemarketer. You have to become a counselor, a psychologist. You have to become a financial advisor. You have to become an Uber driver if you're a buyer's agent, right? So there's so much different things that I had really no idea that I was getting myself into, right? When I first got into real estate, I've always loved working with people. I've always worked in the food and beverage industry, in the hospitality industry. So I've always been around people and helping people. So that's one of the reasons I became a real estate agent. But I really never knew that all these things were involved into being a real estate agent, right? So we have to make calls. We have to make calls all day. You have to get good at making calls, right? It's not just about making calls. It's the right words to use, the right words to say, when to close, how to close, who to close, and who not to close, right? So there's a lot of things involved in just making the calls. Then you have the whole marketing part, right? So we're in 2020, so you have a lot of the digital marketing that you need to know about, you need to learn. I mean, especially if you're a newer agent and you don't have the budget to be paying different people to do different tasks for you. You need to at least learn the basics, right? So when you are growing, and whenever you do have money coming in, then you can defer different things to different people, but at least you know the basics and you know what you want done, right? So yeah, so wearing multiple hats, I never knew that. I'm very grateful for it because I've learned many things, but that's definitely it's very challenging and it takes years, right? I'm still learning every day how to get better at different tasks of my job. Number three is gonna be working very long hours, right? So it's funny. I laugh with my friends, and I just hear people complain when they had an 8-hour work day. You know, yeah. I mean, sitting down 8 hours in the office, if that's your job, then, that could probably be a little bit tiring. But our jobs as a real estate agent, or the ones that do it full time, we pretty much work 70, 80 hours a week. I pretty much work, more than 10 hours a day, almost 7 hours a week. I mean, 7 days a week. I work a lot, right? Because if there's not something to be doing with the client, there's always something to be learning or to be working on or to be getting better. Just like I mentioned in step number 2, that there's so much different hats that we wear. Well, you need time to learn about each one and develop good skills for each of those crafts, right? With calling people, that's something that you need to learn. You need to learn psychology of people, of calling, of psychology of selling. For marketing, you need to learn that. So there's hours and hours of education. At least that's in my case, right? So I'm always learning to get better. So again, even if I'm not working with the client, I'm at home, looking, learning as some learning. If I have listings, I'm learning ways to try to have more exposure of those listings, whether it's video, and then how I'm gonna push that video out on social media, which platform, how I'm gonna do it, right? Paid advertisements. There's so much involved in our job, so that requires hours and hours and hours of work, at least for the first few years, right? So again, it takes a lot of energy and time to hone this craft of being a real estate agent. Number 4 is gonna be communicating with all types of different personalities. So pretty much, I'm definitely a people's person. I love people. I love always being surrounded by great people and helping people. But definitely in this industry, you have all types of different personalities, and you sometimes there's a lot of money involved in real estate, right? In the transaction. So there's a lot of money on the line, and you need to be able to communicate effectively to each one of these individuals, whether it's your client or it's the other agent that you're working with, or it could be lenders, it could be title companies, it could even be appraisers, right? It could be so much different individuals that you need in order to have a smooth transaction and to have the deal go through. So sometimes you need to adapt. You need to be very good at adapting and finding the best way to communicate with different personalities, right? Some people are more direct, some people are more sensitive, some people you just need to explain to them thoroughly exactly what you want from them. So you just need to adapt and work very good with different personalities, and right away understand what kind of personality it is that you're speaking to, the individual that you're speaking to, so you can then figure out the best way to be effective with your communication. Communication is definitely a big part of this industry, of this business. Again, there's a lot of money on the line, and communication goes a long way in this business. So it's definitely a very good skill to hone, and something that I work on, and I'm getting better at each day. And number 5 is gonna be organization. Wow, organizing. So I am definitely not the best organized person out there. I was not the best at school either. I didn't have so much discipline from my parents. So now, as as an adult and as a businessman, I can see how that plays a role into my career, right? So definitely not having discipline is gonna turn out for you not to be so well organized, and not being organized could lead just to more energy, right? You're wasting more energy, you're wasting more time on things that could have been done easier and with less energy, right? So daily I'm learning how to be more organized. Before I used to write things down on pieces of paper or in a notebook. or somewhere. I used to have it. Right now I put everything into my calendar, everything into my notes on my phone, everything that whenever I speak to someone, I put notes exactly the date and what we spoke about. So I have everything very, very organized. I'm getting better at it. I can definitely be better. I can definitely be better. So I'm working on that, but it's definitely a challenge. To many of us it is, right? Being organized, especially in this business, being organized it goes a long way into pretty much just saving time, right? And time is money. So the more time you save, the more money you're gonna save, right? So definitely, organization is definitely a challenge, and I've been getting better at it, daily. Still working on it. I'm still trying to find different apps and different things to do different things and organize in different ways. But it's definitely one of the challenges in this business. All right, guys. I hope you liked my video. Those were the 5 hardest things for me as a real estate agent. I would love to hear what you have to say about the hardest things for me, and also I would like to hear for you, what are the hardest things for you as a real estate agent? And if you're new to the business, what are your thoughts, and what do you see happening right now in 2020? What are the hardest things going on for you? Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and comment below. I would love to hear from you as well. Thank you so much, guys. This is Hans signing out.